Hello and welcome back, everybody, to BSL Nation Wars. I'm Machine, and we just got through with a pretty epic series between USA and Russia, and now we have another incredible lineup here for you. It's going to be Poland facing off against Team Canada here. So yeah, like I said, another two of the big teams that have some of the most notable players outside of Korea still competing this day. First match going to be a Terran versus Protoss here between Raseri and Dragon. So I don't know Raseri as well, but I do know Dragon fairly well. Very top tier Protoss, loves to macro, loves to get into late game slugfests. And the map is going to be Dominator. So I guess that like 3-player Gladiator map, I believe, just came out, so should be pretty exciting. But yeah, not just these two. There's some top players across the lineup for both these players. Of course, the big zero in the house facing off against Whip. Oh man, that's a tough one. Whip is incredible. Terran versus Zerg, just he's got that kill instinct, knows how to pull the trigger a lot of the times. And Zero obviously has the entire weight of foreign StarCraft on his shoulders, so we know he's up for it. After that, we got Big Bad Bonth going up against the Doodlemeister. He's incredible Protoss player that's been around for a long time. Always there for a big match, but obviously Big Bad Bonth is Big Bad Bonth. Wolfix facing off against Cross in another Terran versus Zerg. I think that's going to be a very strong match here from both these players. I think Cross and Hawk and Striker are, somewhat in comparable levels in the North American Zerg scene, so always good to watch him play. Wolfix, definitely known for having some unique Terran versus Zerg, just unique Terran in general. So always a fun match to see. And then 2v2 going to be Bonth Wolfix versus Hysup and Nooblish. Hysup and Nooblish definitely known for their 2v2 strategies. Been around for a long time, and Bonth and Wolfix is Bonth and Wolfix, man. So they say with age becomes wisdom, and between both these teams, they must have a lot of wisdom because they're all very old. Anyone who's still playing, everyone in this entire lineup, old, very old. So we're gonna see some wise play here today. But yeah, with that, let's jump into our first match, folks. Going to be, once again, that Terran versus Protoss. Raseri from Poland facing off against Big Bad Dragon from Canada on Dominator. Let's jump to it. And spawning mid-right as the yellow Terran from Poland, it is Raseri. And spawning bottom left as the brown Protoss from Team Canada, it's Dragon. Yeah, both these players really old, really wise. Definitely know this matchup in and out. Hopefully they know the new map. Whenever I think of maps with low ground main, high ground natural, it obviously, especially in this matchup, favors getting after it early, being aggressive, and if there is any way you could potentially hold your opponent's ramp at the natural early on, it is such a big advantage. I can't even tell you, especially versus Terran, right? Zerg and Protoss open up with these melee units, Zealot and Zergling. So melee attacks don't add it as big of a factor as missed chances on ramps for Marines. And it's obviously not just the Marines for Terran. It's going to be Vultures. It's going to be Siege Tanks. It's going to be losing vision that you need in order to gain pressure, the ability to pressure up a ramp. So we'll have to see what Raseri has planned here in order to prevent that from happening. Dragon going to scout top left. As we obviously know, will not be a successful scout here, but at least he'll know where the opponent lies after this. No gas. There we go. Gas being taken in the main now for Dragon, so it is just going to be a single gateway, nothing out of the ordinary. You know, whenever I think of a map like this, I'm always curious if something like a 10, 15 gate double, you know, gate Dragoon pressure could come into play, just because it can be a tricky timing to deal with if you're not accustomed to running into it. But that will not be the case here for Dragon. And I kind of don't expect Dragon to play that way anyway. He is very safe, very standard, very middle of the road. He's definitely the Protoss that you really don't ever have to worry about taking a ton of massive risk. He just likes to outplay people, and he does a pretty dang good job of it. Raseri going to push off this initial scouting probe. Marine going to run into a Zealot, though. Uh-oh. Is forced to back up here. Dragon even opting to just continue pulling back the probe. A lot of the times they'll continue, you know, trying to pressure with the Zealot and the probe, but that's not going to be the case here. This factory is a little far from the wall off, and actually Raseri gonna lose a couple Marines for nothing. Didn't even move them. That was a little unfortunate. If there was even a probe with this, I think he could have killed the third Marine as well. So a little bit of a shocker here. Oh, SCV's moving to the ramp, and that's another nice pickup there for Dragon. Just continuing with the pressure. Second SCV even falling. And there's an SCV inside the main falling. So big pickups all around here for Dragon. Still, though, managing to stay even in supply for now, and does have that initial vulture. We are seeing a bunker being produced at the natural here, which is going to be needed. Like we said, this is a key moment in this matchup, particularly on this map, because of this high ground natural leading to a low ground main. He cannot afford to get trapped inside his main. So Dragon scouts the moving vulture, wisely decides to back off. Actually, no, he's still going to try to put some pressure on this natural here, possibly wait for Dragoon range. But still, with Raseri having this vulture out on the map, it gives him some potential. He can place mines to block third bases, he can scout with it, and there's also a counter potential for him to maybe try to dive in and snipe a couple probes or something. Robo and second gateway going down here for Dragon. Has opted to basically just hold his natural with the Dragoon, even falling back with the initial Dragoon as well. Raseri doing a good job getting in position to deny a third base with a mine. There we go. Mines have completed. Now he'll basically either force some damaged units or Dragon to wait for an observer. Oh, but this is what I was talking about. Oh, what was the range on that Dragoon? I actually can't believe he got that. That was crazy. But either way, that harassment going to be denied here from Raseri, and only one mine out on the map here, so a little less than ideal, but not, you know, not game losing or anything. Command center is up in great time though. Bunker is full. We have a siege tank at the natural, and on Dragon's side we have that observatory just about to warp in. That should give him some scouting vision, be able to clear his own third base, and I guess just give him a feeling of safety at this point. Natural's pretty wide open though for Dragon. He's eventually going to need to pylon wall that off in order to prevent any future run-bys from Raseri. There we go, that key Vulture Spider Mine coming into play, already denying a third base for Dragon for now. SCV Scout goes down, Armory underway, likely just trying to move to that standard +1 range attack. Natural Vespian Geyser being produced here as well for the Terran. And this is going to be a move out here from Dragon. We're seeing his Dragoon Force with the initial observer pushing across the map here. I don't think he can get much accomplished, especially seeing that there's siege already complete, 4 tanks finished. This would just be a bad trade if he went for it. But maybe if he had a shuttle with some zealots, he could do something. Good placement on that observer. But yeah, we're not seeing any shuttle, but we're also not seeing a third base. This is, I feel, a little unusual for Dragon to not have been... Oh, okay. He just now found the mine. That's why. So he will be taking a third base here shortly. Even pulls back with the initial Dragoons. Support bay. That's big. Means he's likely going for Reaver here. The one interesting characteristic about this map and Gladiator is this third center mineral only base. It's quite easy for Terran to hold it. If you siege tanks behind the wall, it basically just makes it a death trap for Protoss to try to engage into. There's just... You're not really able to get on top of those siege tanks that are behind the wall, and it can be a little deceiving where you don't see many units at the mineral only, and you feel like you can pressure it as a Protoss, but you're not able to get the trades you're looking for. Dragon has an observer directly over the factory count of Raseri. So keeping tabs on that, does see the armory spinning, and yes, +1 range attack is underway, about a little more than halfway complete. We have an observer at the south side as well, moving over to the natural. Raseri has a little bit of vision with the scouting vulture top left, likely just trying to see 4th base timing. And actually, Raseri building a 3rd command center as well. Building it underneath the eBay, I like that. He's going to hide it. So with this, we already know what Raseri's planning. This is not a 2-base timing. He's looking to take a 3rd of his own at the mineral only, going to continue tank production here for a while, and likely just take his 3rd base and then try to hit a timing after that. Now this is a mineral only 3rd base, so there won't be a lot of extra Vespene gas for Terran to play with here. Just means it's going to be very Vulture heavy, very Vulture and Siege tank heavy, obviously. Big Scan picks up the Reaver load into the shuttle. This is 2 Reavers. No legs quite complete on the Citadel yet for Dragon, but they are underway. And if your Dragon, as juicy as this looks, you're probably just looking to delay the 3rd base. Actually, he is going to get on top of a couple tanks here. We'll have to see how big this is. Ooh, keeps the shuttle alive. Maybe he's going to pressure in? I guess it's, yes. He's gonna. There's no legs yet, but he's going for it. SCV's being pulled off the line. Big Reaver shots. Huge Reaver shots. He's already on top of these siege tanks. Slow vultures, or slow zealots getting on top of the vultures as well. And this could be it, man. This just looked like a really strong timing here from Dragon. Yep, mineral line is cleared here for the Terran. Looks like the remaining SCVs are going to fall. And this is the point that I was talking about, where if you lose this ramp leading to your natural as Terran, it is game over. You cannot lose it on this map. And yeah, it looks like a pretty solid victory there for Team Canada with, game number 1. I get what Raseri was going for there. Maybe just needed more mines placed. He seemed to be very tank heavy and Goliath, and didn't quite have the vulture numbers he needed to buffer for everything in front. But maybe if he just had a few more mines out in front, Dragon wouldn't have been so tempted to engage. But with that, that will be the first win going to the way of Team Canada. So yeah, Up next, we have Poland's chance to bounce back in this one. It's going to be Big Bad Zero facing off against Whip in a Zerg versus Terran on Monty Hall. Like I said before, Monty Hall, definitely just a clown fiesta of a map. This map is crazy. There's gas at every single base. There's 3 lanes. I don't know what's right to do here. I don't know if anybody knows what's right to do here. But yeah, it's going to be a crazy one. Whip, known for, I would say, his academy timings. He does a lot of very quick academy timings in Terran versus Zerg. So yeah, we'll have to see like if he's able to pick the right lane or not, and how that'll all go. But yeah, with that, folks, let's get into the second match of this Nation War. Zero versus Whip on Monty Hall. And spawning top left for Team Poland is the Red Zerg. We have Zero. And spawning bottom right is the blue Terran from Canada. It is Whip. So yeah, going to be a tough one for both these players. You know, obviously, you know, both very strong players, but this is just a map that has been out of play for so long. I don't know where you would even go to find practice partners for a map like this, because it plays so different to you know, everything else. But definitely, you know, makes for some very unique play. I think it can be good for Zerg. I also think it can be good for Terran. I think, you know, drop play until the lanes are opened up is going to be quite key. You could just as easily go proxy double barracks in the center as Terran. I remember running into that quite a bit. And actually, yeah, we're going to see something abnormal here from Whip. Go figure. It's going to be a proxy barracks in the center here. Now, if you're Zerg, if you could have the misfortune of getting really unlucky and mining, you know, taking that lane as your middle hatchery, and you'd be in a serious amount of trouble here. Fortunately for Zero, that is not the case. Oh, but it's going to be a refinery. So he's going to figure out where Zerg is expanding, or at least reduce it down to a 2/3 chance, and then proxy a factory somewhere, I'm assuming. So Overlord moving across the map here, not quite going to be able to scout the barracks positioning from Terran, but he has to expect something could be up here. Zero mining out that mineral wall between natural and main in order to allow for drone transfer and defense of the natural. Here we go. Proxy factory, not even a single marine being produced here from Whip. And he's gonna, okay, he's gonna scout the middle lane with the SCV. He's gonna make a marine and scout the top lane with the marine, and then he'll know where the expo is. You know, if he doesn't see it in the middle and he doesn't see it in the top lane, he'll know the expansion is the bottom lane. But I think this is best for Zero here. I think this could be best. There we go. Drones just now mining out that wall off between natural and main, and it looks like he will be able to begin mining at that natural. Factory completes so quick, 3 minutes. 3 minutes, 18 seconds. That's a very fast factory. Second Overlord moving across the map here. Might even be able to scout some of this. Does see at least an SCV and a floating barracks, but that is all. He's gonna push the vulture through the mineral with an SCV. This is tricky. I mean, if you're Zerg, what else can you do? There we go, Hydra Den. I like the Hydra Den. He's definitely gonna need, you can use low numbers of Hydras. Oh, so close, 15 HP, 10. Oh man, big damage there from Zero onto that Vulture though. First drone does take a shot. He doesn't even lose a drone. What a god. Man. Big Zero showing him how it's done. We do have, he is aware of this now. Zero has 3 lings in order to hopefully catch another run by, and has Hydra Den. So low numbers of Hydras will be able to stop this. Oh, he tried to use the barracks. That's cute to pop it over. It's actually 2-port starport. Oh, close. So 2-port Wraith can be strong, especially, you know, when you're not able to really, what do you call it? You're not able to really attack across the map with these Hydralisks because none of the openings have been opened. So, you know, Zero is able to walk Hydras to the natural, but not to either the middle lane or the top lane. So how do you pressure? You can't until you get drop or until you get Muta. Fortunately, Zero knows this. We're seeing a Spire go down here. So, you know, at this point, if there's no cloak, even low numbers of Mutas will be more than enough to handle this. Third base even going down here for Zero mid-left. And we're seeing Zero has that magic number, that 600 minerals, 600 gas locked up here. Ah, big Overlord supply block, though. That is going to hurt. A little bit of skirmishing going on between these 2 Vultures and the Hydras. Fortunately, the Hydras will regen. Muta's in production. There's no way that Whip can know this yet. He's only seen Hydras. But we do know that Zero knows it's Wraith. Oh, okay. Whip getting a little crafty here. Couple Scourge being moved out. There is a Vulture going into the main mineral line, though. Goes undetected. These Wraiths will be shoved off from Zero's Mutas, but that Vulture in the main doing some critical damage so far. Okay, drone pull does happen. Mutas and Ling Hydra to retreat, so not you know, not too much damage. Oh no, another Overlord going to fall here for Zero. And yeah, that's pretty big supply damage. Now keep in mind, at least there's no cloak, and he does know, Zero does know that Terran took natural in the center. So he could pressure with Muta here shortly. There's a couple Scourge inside the main, a couple more Mutas being built before the supply block happened. Could be a window of opportunity here, but we are seeing the first turrets coming down at the natural here for Whip. Meanwhile, Whip moving out with those group of Wraiths. I'm not sure if he went for a cloak or if this is just... Okay, so there is cloak. Cloak is down. And looks like... Alright, Overlord speed is complete, though. Now, with this, Zero should be able to put on more pressure, or drone. I think it's really whatever you kind of want to do at this point. We're seeing more Mutas in production here. A lot more Mutas in production, actually. Likely a lot of times what Terrans will do is they'll transition here into Valkyrie. Valkyrie into Bio. Yeah, we are seeing the armory go down. 4th hatchery from Zero. And it looks like Muta's starting to move out. This could be pressure time. Armor completing as well. That's big for these air battles. And let's see how this goes. It's a lot of Wraiths. No Overlords here yet. So this could... Wraiths could do some serious damage here. There we go, one Muta falling. Okay, but Wraiths are taking some serious damage here. Now these Wraiths, they don't regen like the Mutas, so all these little shots do add up over time. It's going to force a lot of repairs. Okay, it is double Valkyrie now. Zero does have a Hydra Den, so the option is available to open up the middle lane and transition. And yep, we are seeing Hydra speed being completed, +1 range attack as well here for Zero, and some Hydralisk also being produced. 3 Vultures scouting out the middle lane and laying some mines. Good placement to block Hatchery, as well as to see everything. And scouting Zergling is taken out there by that lone group of Vultures. Muta's coming in to try to clean that up, but good retreat there from Whip. Now for both players here, I'm not sure what the key timing is. If you're Whip, do you wait for 5 Valkyries? When do you attack? Can you feel comfortable moving out with these Wraiths? Because if they get caught, that's game. And we are seeing him pick off 1 Overlord and retreat. Zero pretty close in supply here as well. And remember, this is just all air so far for Terran. There's no ground force. If these Hydralisks are allowed to go up this middle lane, clear the mines, really, Whip could be in some serious trouble. Ooh, Starport producing a dropship, so could be some Vulture drops in the near future here. Whip gathering his Air Force, moving towards the top side of the map. Likely just trying to pick off straggling Overlords, continue the supply blocks. Yep, does stop some mining as well. And he's just going to retreat. That's just annoying. Really tough for Zerg to handle here. Scourge being produced as well from Zero. We are starting to see the first tanks enter the battlefield. 3 factory completed now here from Whip. And actually even a 3rd command center. This looks like he's going to expand away from Zero to that 3rd middle lane. Just does not want to engage yet. Wants to draw out the game as long as possible. That is a lot of Muta, though, from Zero here. And actually, is he able to catch this? This could be scary. Yep, does dive on the first of the Valkyries. There's no Overlord here, though. The Cloak Wraiths are going to be a little scary. But they all got cleaned up. Hydra's already prepared at the 3rd base for this run by. Still, Vulture's doing an excellent job diving onto this mineral line and the Vespian Geyser. But, I mean, Terran just got entire air army kind of wiped. I mean, the Wraiths were able to retreat, but the Wraiths were never the problem. I'd be a little worried if I were Whip. You know, if that middle lane gets mined out and a Hydra Force is able to engage into the center expansion, it could be a big deal. And actually, we're seeing Zero counter 3rd, big Mutaflock moving in. Once again, it is cloaked, though. There's no Overlord with this, so these Wraiths going to be allowed to do some big damage here. They are retreating to an Overlord, almost there. Go, 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 and turns. Okay, Whip, though, just on top of it with this this Wraith control. All right, does pick off that remaining Overlord. And it looks like pretty... Overlord does fall, though. More Wraiths joining in here, doing a little more damage to the remaining Mutas, but Hydralisk now starting to join the fray. And with that, these Wraiths will be forced to back up here. Dropship completed. And a lot of tanks starting to be produced. Tanks obviously going to be great against this Hydra counter transition from Zero. Zero starting a hive at the same time. So if he does manage to get to Defiler Tech, once again, Whip will be forced to adjust composition as well and start producing some science vessels. These last remaining wraiths just being annoying, but finally getting cleaned up. They are out of this one for now. Zero mining the top lane, likely opening up the lane to be able to start pressuring. Scouts the bottom lane, but not much to do there. Looks like Whip going to be taking a fourth mid-right. Supply's pretty even. More Valkyries being made here from Whip as well. Going to give him air superiority against the last remaining mutas. But this is a lot of Hydras. If the Hydras are able to get on top of the siege tanks somehow, this could be a big threat for Whip. Whip, though, even walling off that bottom lane, wants nothing to do with an engagement here. And actually moving up the center. Wow, big scan. This is a different scan timing. Huh. I'm not sure what he was scanning for there. Oh, barely gets that. Oh, but big Scourge from Zero. Gets some nice connects on those Valkyries, softening them up. Wow. Oh, you could just ferry over siege tanks. Oh, this is annoying. Yeah, this is going to be big here from Whip. Beginning to ferry over siege tanks a couple at a time. This paired with the Valkyries, this is going to be very big. Looks like Zero forced to consolidate his forces. Backing up with these Muta. Going to need to gather up Hydralis as well. But I'm not sure if he's aware yet. And here we go. The Valkyries are weak. He doesn't even need to engage this with the Hydras yet. If he just uses the Scourge, yeah, I think he's just gonna clean this up with Muta. Wow, one Valkyrie remaining. This is a lot of siege tanks that are just gonna be completely vulnerable to all of these Muta. Tanks are doing a good job clearing some of the drones at the mineral line in the main. And actually 3 more going down. Nice wall with the lurker egg there, preventing those tanks from getting in any further. And suddenly Zero in a commanding position in this game. 3 Vulture run by, you had to expect it here from Whip. Always on top of it with this harass. He is just everywhere. But still though, I don't know if it's enough. Oh, drone just in time to block that wall. Oh. There we go. Still, at the same time, Whip with an advantage economically. The longer this game goes on, the further ahead he is. But big counter here from Zero on the 3rd base of Whip. Does retreat. Oh, there. Gets dragged back into an engagement with some Valkyries. And Scourge gonna dive for it. Don't think they're quite gonna be able to connect though. Oh, nice retreating there. Good control with the Valkyries from Whip. Still good control from Zero though, as well. Mitigating as much of the damage as he can with Splash. And yeah, picking off a few straggling Goliaths and retreating. A lot of idle SCVs there for Whip. He's gonna need to get even probably a 5th base going here shortly. And we are starting to see the first force move up towards the top side of this map. It gets scouted though, And it's not many Goliaths. Once again, there's just not the Valkyrie force that we're used to seeing with this. And you can tell Whip doesn't know what to do. Does he just keep countering with the tanks? I mean, he is, so he's kind of forced to engage here, but Zero wisely retreating, gathering the remaining Mutalisks to maximize damage against the group of tanks. This is the problem. These are the tanks are the problem. It's not the Goliaths. Hydras will fight Goliaths all day. These tanks have just been, they would be an issue if Zero wasn't all over it. And here we go. Fourth base now completely exposed here to Zero's Hydra Mutaforce. Whip looks like he's going to retreat. He's going to just give up the base. Wise call. There was no way he was going to hold that. Zero Defiler Mound completing. We're seeing the remainder of Zero's force starting to gather at this top channel of the map. Another base bottom left as well for Zero. Definitely in a commanding position at this point. 53 workers to the 56. And more evenly spreads. You know, the mining has been more efficient for Zerg here. We see a lot of Hydras up here. 5 siege tanks. We are seeing the vessel transition. As soon as the Defiler is here, Whip is in some serious trouble. Oh, mines. That's always a problem. 1 tank will fall. Second tank as well. But not the worst trade here for Whip. Actually, the remaining force of Zero gonna dive in here. D-Matrix going down, the front tank falls instantly anyway. And GG is called. Zero taking back command of this nation war from the Canadians. Man, big win there. Fun game to watch. You love to see it. Against a very top tier North American Terran and Whip as well. So yeah, that was a fun one to watch. And now, once again, we have a tie game between these two nations. So yeah, very well done there from Zero. Well, moving on, we have yet another PvP here for you folks. You might have heard of this guy before. His name's Bonth. Plays Protoss sometimes. I think he competes in BSL. And yeah, he's going to be facing off against Doodle. So yeah, it's going to be on Minstrel as well. Big PvP. Bonth, the king of PvP. I'd be hard pressed to say he's not a little favored here in this matchup. But Doodle, you know, going to be pulling out hopefully some tricks. And on a new map, so, you know, he's always got that going for him too. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this and see which team takes the lead in this set. Once again, Bonth versus Doodle on Minstrel. And spawning bottom right as the red Protoss, Doodle. And from Team Poland, spawning top left, blue Protoss, it's Bonth. So 2-player map. I mean, kind of like we saw with the DeWalt series. I really don't think either player is going to get super tricky on this one. I don't think you can on a 2-player map, especially such a big 2-player map. There's, you know, I don't know how well this one's been figured out yet, where the proxy gate, you know, positions are and all that. But either way, it's kind of clear so far. Seeing neither player move out with a quick probe, that neither one wants to really get up to any proxy shenanigans. If you're Bonth, I'm assuming this is just going to be one base Robo Reaver, and then the Reaver kills everything. If you're Doodle, you hope Bonth doesn't make a Robo, and you can make a Citadel and a Dark Templar, and just it all goes well somehow. But that's never the case. We have probe moving out for both players. Wow, okay. So Bonth was looking for, it looks like, a proxy gate positioning there to the south of his natural. I would assume that's why the probe moved that way, but does not see anything. Probes pass in the center of the map, so they are aware of the opponent's scout timings for now. And yep, nothing unusual from either player. Single gateway, gas, robocore, or cybernetics core, and just continuing probe production for each of these players. We are seeing a zealot come out for Doodle, probably just to push off this probe. No zealot for Bonth, just been trying to optimize that mining as much as he can. Core completes. No Dragoon yet for Doodle, but I'm sure it's going to be... There we go. Just now started. Bonth's first Dragoon slightly faster. No range yet for Bonth, but there is a range started for Doodle. Proxy Pylon in the mineral line, though, from Bonth. That's always, a little annoying to handle with, but not a big deal. Even cancels it. So a little lost mining time. Still, nothing significant yet from either side. Bonth just taking control of his ramp with his first Dragoon. Trying to prevent any more scouting. Second gateway going down here for Bonth. Don't believe we've seen a second gateway for Doodle yet. Doesn't look like I see there's one on the map, so could be going for faster robo, could be going for a natural. I would assume faster robo, but never really know. Look at that control. Man, just making it look easy. That is so hard to moving shot command and stick with a unit and kill it. Especially, you know how consistently he does it. Man, I don't know, it's just cool to see. It's little things like that that I get more impressed with the longer I watch StarCraft, because I know what that takes on top of everything else. It's like, it's the difference maker, right? It's a probe, right? It's not a big deal, but it's a probe, and every little bit, every little bit counts in this game. So it is going to be a faster robo out of Doodle into a 3-gate. I don't think this is a bad option by any means. Bonth probably going for 2-gate robo observer, I would assume. He does it so often, and he's just so good at it. But actually, yeah, robo is probably just going to have the faster observer. He seems very happy to have just a faster observer than everybody every game, and get full scouting, and just seems to be doing fine with it. Oh, this is funny. He knows that Doodle can't have more Dragoons than him at this certain time, because he lured a single Dragoon off. Almost kills that Dragoon. If it wasn't for that mischance on the ramp. And now there's a straggling Dragoon on the map for Doodle for Bonth to hunt. He knows it's there. And he knew it was towards the top side of the map. I wonder if he would... I guess he wants to keep vision of the natural, but he could just go hunt that down, maybe. 3 gateways are finished up. Citadel, even, from Doodle. Straight shenanigans. Like I said, sometimes you just make a Citadel against Bonth, and you hope. You're like, maybe this is the game he doesn't make an observer. Nope. Yep, observatory right away. No surprise. Doesn't have the fastest observer, though, so I was wrong about that. Nexus at the natural. Scouting Dragoon from Doodle gets kind of blocked off. Does see the Nexus at least, but that was free. Bonth still has that massive Dragoon force outside the ramp of Doodle. And actually, I don't know, he doesn't have an observer on it, but he knows that he moved out somehow. Yeah, Bonth will need to back up. There's no... I mean, he can control well, but he can't control, like, having 3 less Dragoons well. So he will need to back up. Does so. Shocker. Even kills the observer. Now Bonth has pure vision. He knows he will know, if he doesn't already know, it's 3-gate, exactly what his opponent's up to. He does have the faster Nexus, and he's kind of committed to holding it at this point, so it might come down to Bonth trying to, I don't know, battery or get a I don't know if he's going Reaver. I don't think he can afford. Maybe you can afford Reaver with this fast of a natural, but either way, he's gonna have to do something to try to hold this 3-gate timing. Actually, no, there's a Nexus going down from Doodle, so he's not that committed to it. I think that just plays more in Bonth's favor at this point. He's got the faster natural, got the faster tech. You know, had better vision. Yep, Reaver is out. Yep. So, yeah, I don't know. If you're Doodle, I guess you just gotta you're committed. You gotta hold out until your natural's done. We did see, yeah, the support bay now, well hidden there from Doodle. So Citadel was just a fake. It's actually gonna be shuttle speed. Big upgrade PvP. I don't believe Bonth has... Oh, he just started it. Okay. Just started shuttle speed. That standard 8-minute shuttle speed timing that I know so well. Yep. I'm just like, I totally making that up. I have no idea when you're supposed to get shuttle speed timing, but now seems like a good time. Both players seem to think so. And here we go, a little bit of pressure. I'm not sure if Doodle was able to snipe an observer of Bonth, or maybe Bonth just backed up with it, but either way, not a ton of vision for Bonth until he just kills this observer. With that, I mean, Doodle, he's got to feel like he's in the dark. He has no observer anymore. He doesn't know if it's DT. He doesn't really know the tech. Although it is Bonth, you could pretty much just blind assume it's Reavers and then still lose to it, just like every other player against Bonth. Observer gonna walk in here for Bonth. He's gonna see Dragoon positioning and count. There is a shuttle out from Doodle. Support bay was behind, but it's still there. Oh, and here we go. Bonth's just going for it. Just going for it. Yep. He's going to catch him right on this ramp here. He's got the better positioning. He's got more Reavers dropped. Going to use the shuttle to tank a little bit. Ooh, nice Reaver shot, though, from Doodle onto Bonth's Reaver. But he's just got the better concave. Reaver falls. Man. Man. Bonth, how do you do it, man? Just the perfect timing. And excellent control. And everything else that you wish you had PvP, but you don't. Bonth has it. So I mean, there's no way really for Doodle to break down this ramp. He's gonna have to wait for a shuttle and ferry and hope to get a big surround. But at the same time, Bonth is also still mining from a natural, which means he's essentially just doubling his gas count. He's doubling his mineral count. He never lost the Nexus to begin with. It's a very difficult position to recover from if you're Doodle. And that's if you're not playing against Bonth. Bonth just with incredible control moving up this ramp. He's making this look simple. Let me tell you, it is not easy to attack up a ramp with Reavers. They are just so dumb sometimes. But he's just making it look so simple, man. He's very good at it. Goes back, he macros. He's still aware of that Dragoon Force. Bonth is still aware of that Dragoon Force outside the natural, but just doesn't really feel concerned with it, doesn't need to do anything about it. Great Scarabs once again. I mean, he's trading efficiently up a ramp with Reavers. It's incredible, man. He's the god. He's so good. I was saying it for a reason, man. It's I mean, hitting Bonth in Nation Wars it's like hitting DeWalt in Nation Wars, basically. You're just like, oh, okay, who, am I gonna face Raz? Hopefully, nope, Bonth. Look at this control. Forced to mine, pull probes out of the main to the natural, and GG is called there from Doodle. Valiant effort. I mean, the starts were just mirrors of each other. Doodle is such an exceptional player, but Bonth just has that timing, man. He had the better observer positioning, does, remove the vision from Doodle, and then just pick the optimal moment to counter. And yeah, what can you do, man? And had just incredible control on top of it all. So, as expected, there, Bonth is a tough cookie to face. Especially in Nation Wars. So very well done there. And with that, Team Poland once again in the lead here against Team Canada, one of the best, teams of, I would say in Nation Wars currently. So, I mean, that just goes to show how strong Poland is. But it's not over. We still have Cross. I would say Cross is, just a top-notch Zerg from Canada. In every way, has the control, has the macro, has the knowledge, has the wisdom. He's very old, so he'll, I would say he's going to be a tough match here for Wolfix. But Wolfix, no slouch himself. But Wolfix, top tier Terran as well. I think he has a little bit more of a unique style. He's not so much dialed into just the standard like one gate or one racks Expo TVZ. He's definitely a player who can play that tech, does do those factory openers, isn't afraid to do, an 8 racks into factory, really do something to kind of throw your opponent off. But Radeon being a 4-player map will mitigate a lot of that. Just because you're kind of turning it into like a 2/3 chance of hoping where your opponent spawns. If you were to go for something like a double proxy BBS in this matchup. On top of that, when I think of Zergs that are just not afraid to open pool first, I think Cross. Like he very much so was a North American Zerg that kind of pioneered opening more overpool in this matchup specifically. I almost never did it, and until I started kind of watching a lot of his play and how often he would catch certain players like a Terror out, just by occasionally, not even the majority of the time, but just occasionally opening overpool. And more importantly, when your opponent doesn't 8 racks, how do you transition out of an overpool? You have to find damage, you have to find vision, you have to make your opponent play, a little more afraid if you were to do something like that. So yeah, definitely going to be an exciting match. And on Radeon, one of my favorite, current maps, favorite 4-player map. Definitely has like potential for, taking it, to like a good late game that we want to honestly see, right? We all do. Of, heavy gas, Zerg versus Terran, battle cruisers, Mech Switch, Defiler, Ultra, Hydra. Really want to see some Defiler Hydra, and Across is kind of the player to do it of everyone in the lineup, across all these North American teams. So yeah, I think Cross definitely going to be a big problem here for Wolfix, but Wolfix, obviously going to have some, some advantages of his own. And then even after this, we obviously have the 2v2 between these teams as well. I've seen Bonus 2v2 quite often, and man, he's also got such a firm understanding of 2v2. So him paired with Wolfix, in a Terran Protoss uh, team, which you don't really see at the high level 2v2 very often, is just going to be fun no matter what. Just I want to see what they're going to do. It's going to be unique for sure. But Hysup, Nooblish, definitely a little more of the standard. I would say they've absolutely spent more time probably practicing for this than Bonth, Wolfix. They have the strats, maybe not, you know, the strong mechanical monsters quite on the level of Bonth, but in 2v2 knowledge, absolutely. They are such a strong team to face off against. So excited for that as well. But yeah, up next going to be Wolfix Cross, TVZ, Radeon, and yeah, this one really, you know, it's gonna be tough. Could go obviously either way, but just I'm a little favored to say Cross, just because I'm a little more in tune with his play and I know how he plays and I know exactly what a monster he can be in this matchup for sure. It's kind of cool we're doing this again, man. Like Nation Wars is something I used to play in quite a bit back in like the early, late 2010s era, and so it's always cool to see the team camaraderie and I guess like building up your nation's teams together, seeing who's who and how your country faces off against other countries, and obviously we've all been watching this, playing this for so long, we kind of know who's who and we kind of have a good feel for it, but it's still cool to get to see it for sure. Also an opportunity for 2v2 to come back in to the meta again. There's not literally really not as many 2v2 tournaments and team tournaments for 2v2 teams to really compete in as more. So it's cool to see, that this opportunity is still here. Yep. But man, we're all getting old. Ancient. So wise. Thanks. But yeah, I think with that, folks, we are ready to jump into this one. So it's going to be, as we said, Terran versus Zerg, Wolfix versus Cross, 4-player map, Radeon. I want to see it. Let's see it. Ooh, top right. Spawning as the red Terran, Team Poland, it is Wolfix. And bottom right, spawning as the blue Zerg from Canada, it is Cross. Excited to see this one. I was actually just checking out Wolfix's stream right before this went live, and yeah, man, he's also in top notch. I'm kind of excited to see how he'll face off against one of the North American Zerg greats at the moment in Cross. Definitely a player I follow quite a bit. Really enjoy watching his play, learning from him. Not someone who's really afraid to take risks, where I think a lot of Zergs are in the scene. As I said, he's not opposed to opening up with something like an overpool, although we don't see that this game. But or 11 pool, even just like quicker pool plays versus Terran, it's not something you're used to seeing that often, and he does it very well. So we do see depot by the ramp here for Wolfix. Definitely some kind of a wall off. Meanwhile, standard 12 hatch opener from Cross here. So nothing unusual. First Overlord also moving top right. I like that decision. I do the same. He's got very good aim with it. You got to really send it in a certain direction, or else you could lose it to early probes. This is a little unusual. We're seeing a 12th drone from Cross, so I'm not. It is like, it's not quite true 2 hatch. It's kind of a little bit of a later, and even getting another drone before a 12 gas. So gas is slightly delayed. Could be for 2.5 hatch. Sometimes it could even just be for a straight up 3rd hatchery at another base, if you really want to, but I don't think that's a risk that Cross will want to take. First Marine coming out here for Wolfix. He does have the wall off at the top of the ramp, so any kind of early pool or any kind of early link pressure, not going to be a concern at all here for Wolfix. And this is one of the nice reasons to do this. You know, he is just safe now. He doesn't really need to commit anything else to this. The factory is going to be done early enough that a Vulture will end up stopping any kind of early pressure. But at the same time, you are giving Zerg map control. So Zerg can just freely drone once he recognizes what this is. Drone did scout it last. Overlord does not see anything at the natural, so he should be a little questionable right now. He shouldn't, you know, he's not sure if, you know, what this is. Is this 2 racks in main? Is, if there's no command, why is there no command center? You know, you would assume this has to be some type of early gas play, but you're never really 100% sure until you scout it. So either way, we know Cross will be forced to make a sunken here shortly. And yep, just on time, not even a questionable time. He's not worried about, you know, I say that, the Vulture's already moving out, but I think he's going to be just fine here holding this. We're even seeing him retreat with the Zerglings. He saw the Vulture with the Overlord, and he doesn't want to lose anything unnecessarily. Sunken will be up in time. Wolfix knows it. He's opted to just kind of sit outside his own natural. And now Cross can just drone. I will say, if you are going to delay your gas, this is the build you hope you're doing it against. So Cross's build selection was on point for this. Second gas going down at the natural here. Likely going to be a third hatchery to be used as part of the wall off. One of the options Terran has here is to go early speed Vultures, make a bunch of Vultures, and do a run by. And if Zerg is too greedy, doesn't wall properly, doesn't make enough Zerglings, you could take some significant damage here. But we're going to have to... it's not going to be speed Vulture, it's just going to be Goliath. Goliath and take his natural. So this is going to be a defensive mech play out of Wolfix here. Not surprised. It's definitely something Wolfix likes to favor, and he's very good at it. So why not? Ooh, nice. Almost around, but still map control remains to Wolfix here. I know what Cross is doing there. He wants to get that third base started now. He's greedy. He's hungry. But he's kind of shown his hand by sending that drone out like that. So now Wolfix knows to be on top of this Vulture control. There we go. He's going to get another Zergling. It's fine. This is honestly just Terran making Zerg be honest. Most of the Koreans, if you play them on ladder, will force you to truly send all your mutas to your third base and physically plant the hatchery before you move across the map with your Mutalisks. And actually, we'll go unscouted. The Vulture is on patrol from bottom left to 6 o'clock. It looks like Cross going to chase it down, though. Yeah, Vulture goes down. But it did prevent pressure. This is 7 mutas that already could possibly be at a mineral line or something. So Vulture, to do all that, well worth it. Hydrogen and Evolution Chamber being produced inside the main here of Cross. Armor as well. I always love armor. I'm glad that it's finally back in trend. I've been saying forever, Zerg should need to just open air armor. Like, there's some reasons why you would go attack. I always see it like ZVZ, and I'm just like, why? But air armor is so strong, transitions well versus BCs later. I mean, helps your Overlord stay alive. If you play Zerg like me, you definitely need all the help you can get keeping your Overlords alive. Look at that. Look at that drone count. 33 to the 34 SCVs. Big damage already being done here by Cross. One thing that Cross does with his mutas that I love is he will intentionally pull the weak mutas towards the back and physically move the strong ones to the front so that they take the first shots. You'll see that like none of his mutas, they're pretty equivalently damaged. and he has not lost one yet. And he's killed a significant amount of SCVs already. Air armor just about to finish up here. Although we have not seen any more Mutalisks be built. It's just been the original 7. There we go. I lied. A couple more. A few more. But Hydra production already underway. Sunken Colony at the 3rd base here. I think that's necessary versus any type of Vulture run-by. So, good choice here from Cross. And he wants more SCVs. Oh, he's got to watch these straggling Muta, though. Yeah. Does lose his first Muta. But he's pulled all of the Goliaths back. And still, only a 3 worker lead for Terran is... that's a big deal. You absolutely need to have more workers than Zerg. You know, not by that much, especially depends on the point in the game, but he should have more than this at this point. And we're not seeing that command center light up. So pretty soon here, it might even be a worker deficit. Still though, Goliath's moving across the map here, and it is a lot of Goliaths. Ooh, okay, big volley. +1 armor completed here on the mech. So that'll help with Muta Splash. And it's just not bad. It's not bad against Hydra even. It's not bad against Lings. It's a good selection to have. +1 range attack, not quite done here. Really, Cross wants to delay as long as he can for this +1 air armor. He's going to need to use his countering Muta and Hydra to follow up from behind here. And Wolfix has himself in a bad spot. Maybe he can pick off this hatchery for free, but he's not going to have long. And here we go. Oh, Cross misclick there. But here comes the rest of his force. And, I mean, Wolfix doing a good job targeting down Mutas. But I don't know if that was... I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to do that any better than that. So, maybe just Cross was prepared for this timing. Cross with the supply lead now. Has that 3rd base. Likely going to just try to take a 4th now. And actually, now that I'm noticing it, 3rd base isn't even fully saturated. It's doing pretty good, but he definitely can drone now, though. Gets a couple more SCVs for good measure. 3rd one. Crazy. He pulls the strong Muta to the front. That's just crazy. Yeah. So he will keep those alive. Now those Muta can just go defend a base or something. No, he's going to turn around. He's just going to go back for it. He should definitely wait for this other group. But, wow. That's pretty cool. Does take the 4th base mid-right. Ooh, Cross loses an Overlord though. Meanwhile, Wolfix continuing that Goliath production, Starport completing. Likely going to try to get to Vessel Tech here very shortly. No Hive underway yet. Cross looks happy to just stick on mid-game tech for now. Those high ground tanks are scary. I don't know. Oh, he's going to dive on it, though. Oh, he got it, too. Only lose 1 Muta for it. I'm almost curious if he's going to just attack again. He might have a big enough force. No, he's getting +2. Oh, finds another tank. Oh! That's big. Every tank's huge. Didn't lose a Muta again, by the way. That's crazy. So, looks like Wolfix just kind of gathering his force at his natural. Good scans going down. Sees no Hive Tech yet. Still just on Hydra Muta play. And if Wolfix can take a good fight, maybe just turtle to a 3rd and get vessels out, the game will go on. He can play from here. But he does have to be on the defense for now. Cross still in all-out unit production. He has a 4th base, but he's not saturating it. And he hasn't even actually taken the gas at his 3rd base, now that I'm noticing. So I kind of feel like maybe he's a little more committed than I was thinking. Yeah, he is. This is pure Hydra. And once there's like 3 or 4 tanks, I don't think he can attack uphill. So maybe Crossy kind of putting himself in a bad position here. I mean, this is probably a result of killing so many SCVs with the Muta earlier, but he maybe just felt like he could just end it. But if this game keeps going on, Cross is going to need more drones. He's going to need a 4th base. And probably Queen tech versus mech, I would assume. You want to start getting that Queen energy building early on, and it does take a while to research both Queen energy and Broodling. Okay, is this a 2-base timing from Wolfix? There is no 3rd command center. I was thinking he would turtle and go command center, but I guess not. So maybe Cross with the better call here. It is even in worker count. Good scans. It's time. Siege. Okay. I thought he was going to get more than that. Cross kind of flanking from all angles here. Here we go. Look at the blue on the map. He's going for it. Muta diving on top of a siege tank in the center, flanking Hydras coming from Terran's 3rd, and just a stream of blue moving from Crossy's rally point. This is a full surround, folks. Wow. GG is called. Man, I was questioning it. I was like, oh, he doesn't have a 3rd gas. He doesn't have a 4th base. You know, Cross could be in trouble here, but I was just so many Hydralists. +2 range attack was completed as well. Mutas did a great job diving on siege tanks, had, you know, the air armor to kind of just make him a little tankier for the Goliath to focus fire. And yeah, with that, once again, another nation war going down to the final match here. It is tied up 2-2 between Poland and Canada. But fortunately for each of these teams, they both have some of the best 2v2 players of all time. Bonth, by himself, one of the best 1v1 players of all time. He might be able to take out some 2v2 teams by himself. I wouldn't put it past him. And then Wolfix, obviously, who we saw from last game, going to be a unique pairing of a Protoss Terran in 2v2. You don't see that too often, but anytime Bonth's part of it, you know it's going to be good. And they're going to be facing off against Hysup and Nooblish, a little more of a standard Zerg Protoss 2v2 team. Both these folks been around for quite some time now. This is all going to take place on Retro, new favorite map, let's say. Fewer bases, but all gas bases, and plays for some pretty strong play. So excited to get this one started, folks. With that, let's jump into the final game of the day here, the 2v2 between Poland and Canada. And spawning top left as the brown Protoss, Team Poland, it's Big Bonth. And his partner spawning top right as the pink Terran, it is Wolfix. And from Team Canada, bottom right as the white Zerg, we have Hysup. And bottom left as the red Protoss, we have Nooblish. So 2v2, always fun. But this game in particular, we have some really interesting stuff at play here. Terran Protoss is not even close to as common of a 2v2 team. It's hard to even find practice against top tier like Terran Protoss because of this. There's just not many Terrans in 2v2. That's not to say they can't be good, but there are fewer of them. especially paired with a Protoss that is less mobile, let's say, than Zerg, it can be a struggle, but at the same time, it's Bonth, so you know that struggle just kind of goes out the window. We have one gateway down from each of our Protosses. Looks like Nooblish going to be taking the first deviation, taking gas inside the main. So this will just be core play. Bonth not scouting it though. He just scouts the gateway and moves back. So Bonth does not know that this is one gate tech play yet out of Nooblish. Meanwhile, we have Nooblish getting inside the main of Wolfix. No surprise. Sees that refinery. Does move out, hopefully before the wall completes. Yeah, and will retreat with that probe. Actually just going to be even a little more annoying and blocking that depot for a second. And Hysup scouting that wall off as well with the early Overlord. Doesn't see anything out of the ordinary, and actually even expands. Expanding early 2v2 is not common unless you're facing a Terran and a Protoss. It's about the only time you could just say, you know what, yeah, I can hold an Expo with my Protoss teammate. Just because Protoss can kind of provide some pressure with early Zealots if needed. But actually, they're getting away with kind of murder right now, because Nooblish, no Zealot, just tech, gate into Dragoon first. Wow, wow. This is really good for Team Canada, I think. What is going on here? He's building a factory inside Bonnett's main? This is craziness. This is insane. I guess he's just going to go turrets and factory inside Bonnett's main with... I don't know what he's going to build out of the factory. Maybe Vulture? Vulture mines? I don't even know. This is going to be crazy. I don't know who's going to deal with Zerg. I guess Bonth deals with Zerg with Corsair. Wow, this is cool. Definitely excited. Oh, it's not even going to be Muta though. So looks like yeah, Hysup going for that 2-hatch Hydra play. Already doing Hydra production. Yeah, good amount of saturation between the bases there. We see 11 drones, Zero pointing out mining on minerals. So, I mean, especially in a matchup like this, 2v2, where 2v2 is just all about not being too greedy. It is so easy to lose a game 2v2 because you made 1 or 2 extra drones. Definitely something I struggle with. Dragoon starting to put some pressure on Wolfix's wall off. There is a bunker there, so it's you know, he doesn't have to be too afraid, but it's just kind of annoying. He's going to probably force some repair, force some focus out of Wolfix, where he really probably wants to keep building factories in Bonth's main and stuff. First Corsair moves out, sees nothing but Hydralisk streaming across the map. So Wolfix going to need to basically maybe even make a second. I don't know. He's going to have to make something to hold his wall. Does have a siege tank out. They're not even going to attack him. Never mind. He's got siege. Oh, and it's going to be a siege tank on the ramp from Wolfix in Bonnett's main. Oh, man. Is Bonnet in trouble? No, he's not, because he's got a siege tank. They're even hiding it. They're going to wait until Zerg commits. That's so smart. Wow. Huge shot from that first siege tank. Bonth just wisely hold positioning with the Zealots. We're even seeing probes being pulled out now. He knows all he has to do is hold this ramp, and it will trade efficiently. So yeah, he's got like 10 probes on the ramp now. They just ate that Zergling. And they don't even... Wow. Wow. What a cool play here. That was really cool. I have not seen something like this in 2v2, but it ended up being just the perfect call. Now Bonth is on slow Corsair tech, but he's going to be allowed the time to build up a significant amount. He's using them just for scouting now, but eventually this is going to turn into 5-6 Corsairs, and this is going to be a big problem for Zerg. Zerg, though, the good thing is he's just going to be allowed to drone for now. We even see the 3rd hatchery inside the main. That's a pretty big deal in this matchup. But at the same time, the Hydras that he could have used to push off these Corsairs have been deleted. He took some serious losses, you know, at Bonth's ramp. Looks like not many drones in the main either. Definitely is going to need to fix some of that saturation, but he does have a layer on the way. Here we go. More drones in production here for Hysup. And now I think like Nooblish and Hysup are kind of forced to stagnate for a bit. Another Overlord going to fall here. Oh, good pickup. We got one of the Corsairs. But yeah, that's 4 siege tanks up a ramp. There's no attack in that without air. So neither Team Poland is really even in a threat at the moment. There's just nothing that can be done. Siege tanks are just too good at holding expansions. So still has that factory alive inside Bonth's main, but I think he really just wanted a few tanks just to get started, and it seems like now he's kind of producing more at his own main. I wouldn't be surprised if he started switching to vultures and mining outside Bonth's natural. 2 Corsairs moving to 6 o'clock, just kind of doing some continual scouting here. You know, we did see the layer start, so eventually there is Spire potential. Yep, out of Hysup, but actually it's going to be a Queen's Nest. I think that's kind of a good call, given we're seeing nothing but non-stop siege tanks at this point in the game. If he's able to broodling lines of siege tanks over time, it will just be more efficient for him. I guess queens are also very good at providing vision too. If he's able to just start parasiting Corsairs early, start parasiting siege tanks, because it does look like this game is inevitably going to go into some kind of a stalemate for a bit. There's just no pressure potential against so many siege tanks. So he's kind of forced to sit back. Both teams are. Which could be good for Zerg. I mean, if Zerg's able to just drone for the next few minutes, get that queen tech up, and build up 12 queens, could be a big problem. Yeah, we're already even seeing queen production. Energy first. I think he built those a little too fast, but yeah, it's okay. Zerg will need Evo Chamber. And is going to need some upgrades to get started at some point here. Look at that wall. Oh, he did the observer trick over the turret. That's funny. I haven't seen that in a while. 2 Corsairs just still scouting around here for Bonth. Even, you know, he's at least scouted the Queen's Nest, so it won't be a surprise. But that's about as much value as he's going to be able to get out of these Corsairs for now. Good mine placement. That's crazy good mine placement, actually, from Wolfix. Wow. Big mine connects. That definitely went well there for Wolfix. And actually even going to get a few vultures into the main. But fortunately, there were Hydralisks there waiting to defend. So, still, big damage. Well done there. Zerg does have 6 o'clock. There we go. That's where the queen stacking is. 86 energy. They need to get up to 150, and that's not too far off. They're about a minute away from being able to start hitting some serious broodlings. But even then, it's never going to be the first battle that wins it. It's going to be over time. So he'll need to broodling 3 or 4 waves of tanks before they truly can make an opening to attack. Nooblish does have supply lead in this game. But it looks like Wolfix going to allow Bonth now to secure top middle with a couple of siege tanks of his own. Protoss does move out Nooblish, and he's starting to clear mines on the map. Looks like Bonth might be moving out to greet him. Does have a few siege tanks with him. Yeah, this could... Oh, scan even going off here for Wolfix. This is all scouted. I don't know if there's enough Hydras, actually. Oh, of course. They're just going to wait and broodling the tanks. So, yeah, this is really bad, actually, for... I think Wolfix is about to lose like 10 tanks. Does he have broodling? Why is he not going? Oh, man. Come on. Nice. That was cool. Yeah, that was great. Huge storm as well going down from Nooblish. But you know what? There's still 7 tanks here. And Reavers. Those are Bonth Reavers too. Man. They held on. They somehow held on. I wasn't sure which way that was going to go. I think the Broodlings were great. That was a good option. It just somehow still wasn't enough. Huh. And it looks like Nooblish going to be forced to retreat to the natural. Only a couple cannons there. But either way, Bonth does not look like he wants to overcommit. Tanks starting to push towards Nooblish, but actually they changed direction. And it looks like they're going to catch Hysup's force out here in the center. This is just so much Terran and Protoss. I don't know. I think they've done it somehow. It is a lot of Hydras, but Hydras, I mean, not as strong when tanks are involved. I think he's still got quite some time before he's going to have another round of Broodlings too, so that's just not going to be possible. So, yeah, this is a tricky spot here for Team Canada. I like that Wolfix and Bonth aren't getting overly aggressive with it too. They're just holding the positioning. They're macroing at the same time, using that time to get 12 o'clock up and running. You know, doing another round of macro. They clearly have supply advantage for both players at this point. And they're just slow pushing. They're going to make this painful, and it's going to be efficient. And here we go. It's time to go. Shuttle moving in. Sure that has a couple Reavers in it. Yep. They're going to wait for the Nooblish counter. And here we go. Lots of Zealots falling there for Bonth, but still. Actually, wow, Zerg also fighting back. Looks like the majority of the tanks all gone now. Oh, huge Scarab. Takes out a big clump of Hydra there. We have to be getting pretty close on those Broodlings, I'm assuming. Yeah, we're about 10 seconds off, so maybe that's what it'll need to break this take line. But either way, I think Nooblish needs to get mid-left going here very shortly, or he could be in trouble. It seems like Bonth with 12 o'clock is going to start just running away economically. Wow, Wolfix even taking mid-right at the same time. Great timing from both these players. Here we go, Queen's moving in. He's shown the hand. Alright, we're starting to see the Broodlings go off. They are focused on the tanks. It's just not enough, it feels like. Ooh, big mind connect there. Still, Nooblish has a good amount of units. It's just not quite enough. Archon's starting to do some damage to the mineral line at the natural. Bonth Reavers also moving ahead. And yeah, that's got to be it for Team Poland. I think they just did it. Oh, big Scarabs. Yeah, fighting down a ramp against Reaver is just a nightmare. 2 Archons getting on top of that last Hydralisk. Okay, we are still seeing some Broodlings. These Queens, as long as they stay alive, they can continue to trade. But yeah, that's only 7 Queens left, and they're a little weak at the moment. And Reaver's now taking out 6 o'clock. This is going to be the end of mining, pretty much, for Hysup. Now, the one good thing is Nooblish was able to take mid-left during all of this. So he's now mining on an additional base. But yeah, we'll have to see if he's able to make use of it. Templar moving in with Storm. Needs to storm those Reavers if he can. And he does. There we go. Oh man, at the same time though, big counter from Wolfix moving into the main of Hysup. 5 Hydras do rally out though. They're going to try to hold on to this mineral line. Queen's still ways off from being able to afford another round of Broodlings. And suddenly it's really just on Nooblish at this point. Yes, he does have the Broodling backup, but it's kind of on him to win this. Oh man, and he's just surrounded, unfortunately. Bonth in great position. Wolfix here using that middle mineral line as a wall off to prevent the tanks from being dove on. And yeah, huge storm. Jeez, huge storm though from Nooblish. That was big. Okay, I mean, that didn't go too bad for Nooblish, but those vultures are just so clumped up. Yeah, he's going to be forced to retreat here. It looks like, no, he's going to counter. That's crazy. He's going to just go for it. He's countering it. Bonus natural. It's nothing but Templar Reaver. This is like the worst thing to walk into. Oh man, he's got a shuttle there too. Yeah, that's it for Nooblish's army. Okay, Broodlings do flank though, but he does lose a couple queens. Once again, Hysup is mining at 6 o'clock, so maybe there's some comeback potential here. Bonth just on top of these Archons, on top of these Templar. Mid-left being sieged now from Wolfix, and GG is called there from Team Canada. It's Team Poland taking today's second Nation War, and another nail-biter, 3-2 against Canada. Yeah, man, we got to see some pretty incredible matches today. Big wins from Zero, Bonth, and the 2v2 team in order to take this one. So well done and well deserved. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more Team Poland in BSL Nation Wars. But yeah, I think that's it for today, folks. Yeah, thanks again for tuning in. It's been fun. I think we're going to be showing up again tomorrow with some more Nation Wars action. So yeah, definitely tune into that. And yeah, thanks again. We'll see y'all soon.